One Punch Man is unique. Saitama, being the strongest by far, is technically the main character, but winning every fight only using one punch and him taking the spotlight all of the time would have the same story as Superman before Kryptonite was added. It would become very boring, very fast. So there are more main characters needed to give Saitama a purpose and show more than just one punch as the conclusion of every possible fight. And there comes Garou, the very well written anti-villain, the actual main character for a very long time, step by step evolving and becoming stronger and stronger. In this analysis I want to explore why Garou became what he became. We have to start in his early childhood. Garou was bullied by his classmates, and if he defended himself, his teachers would still blame him and not even hear Garou out. Garou as a child was forced to be the monster because he was unpopular, and the popular kids would always choose to be the heroes. Garou felt weak and hurt. At the same time he started to associate monsters with the weak, unpopular and oppressed people like he was, and the heroes with the popular, unfair and oppressors. That's why he always rooted for monsters. He himself started to identify as a monster because he was forced to be one from the popular kids, and he also started to hate the heroes. This profound wound would shape his interests and goals. He came up with the idea of absolute evil, becoming the ultimate monster. It is similar with the idea Pain from Naruto had. Garou wanted to become so strong that no one dares to oppress other people anymore. To understand it better, we should analyze the most iconic quote from Garou.
何が正義だ、何が悪だ。結局は多数派の意志によって俺が殺されていくだけだ。理不尽だ。許せん。俺は怒っている。
Good, evil, I reject them both. With this quote, what he actually rejects is the domination of one over the other. He doesn't care if the heroes win over the monsters or if the monsters win over the heroes, because for him, no matter who will win, there will still be oppressed weak people like he was as a child or Tadeo, which will suffer nonetheless if the heroes or the monsters will win. And for them, he wants to become the absolute evil, so that everyone will fear him, and that people like Tadeo have someone to protect them. That's why Garou fights monsters and heroes equally. When Garou says that he's a monster, he doesn't mean that he identifies with Orochi, Platinum S, Evil Natural Water, etc. It means that he identifies with the people which are forced to be the monster, so the popular majority can use them in their favor. Now, to find out what makes Garou special and why he's so dangerous, we will go through many of his fights and filter important aspects of his growth. The first aspect is that Garou is very talented and hardworking. He was the only student from Bang able to learn the Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist. In his first fight against the S-Class hero, he firstly has to compare his own strength to that of his opponent, and there he learns that he's way stronger than Tank Top Master, winning against him with close to none effort. Then, in his fight against Metal Bat, he dominated him until the very end. Even though the last hit from Metal Bat would have killed Garou, up to that point Garou just played with him and didn't even take him seriously. Garou loses his next fight against Watchdog Man, and there we see the next dangerous trait of Garou. That's how he handles losses. Garou is clearly the anti-villain, but watching his journey it seems like he's on the path of the hero, because even if he loses, he comes back stronger. That's a typical trait of an hero. Naruto, Ichigo, Yuji, all of them had devastating losses, but they continued to believe in themselves and kept going, and in the end they always learned from their losses. Garou has no problems accepting his defeats and acknowledging if someone was stronger than him. Garou turns it even around. He learns from his losses, he copies Watchdog Man, which could have saved his life if Bomb didn't intervene. The dangerous trait is not being scared of losses. He accepts them and comes back being more enthusiastic, always knowing how strong he can become. His next fight is the big showdown against 8 heroes. He was injured, had fever and lacked recovery, but he still took this fight, and although it was close, he won. Most of the 8 heroes he fought against represented what he rightfully dislikes about heroes. They only fought him because they wanted the publicity and acknowledgement of defeating the very famous hero hunter. But unfortunately for Garou, Genos appears, and now, in his even worse condition, he has to fight rank 12 of S-Class. But even Genos is not able to easily beat Garou. Our anti-villain has become stronger, which you can see from his slightly changed appearance. But shortly before Genos attacks Garou with one of his strongest moves, Bang comes in with his brother Bomb, and now Garou's chances to win drop to 0. There comes the next dangerous heroic trait of Garou. He's not arrogant. Even though he's very strong and confident, he always stays realistic. If he takes on a fight, he can properly predict the strength of his opponent and calculate his chances of winning. If he comes to the conclusion that it is more likely for him to lose, he retreats. What differentiates him from many other antagonists? Steam, for example, is the person closest to Garou in terms of combat skills and strength, but he suffers from a lot of arrogance. He really thought he can take down Goketsu all by his own. Garou is totally different. He knows when it is wiser to escape. He realized very quickly that he can't go against his old master Bang, Bomb and Genos, so he decided to run away using the technique of Watchdog Man. In a later fight, after he destroyed Royal Ripper and saved Tadeo, the moment he stood against overgrown Rover, he instantly knew that he can't take that fight. Rover was too strong, and it would be too dangerous for Tadeo. Garou concluded fast and rationally, and not arrogantly. He decided to flee as fast as possible. With Orochi it was different. I think Garou knew exactly that he can't win against him, but he had no other options left. He was in a deep complex surrounded by strong monsters. If he has no other option in fighting, he obviously chooses to fight. He lost to Orochi and was captured by the Monster Association. Garou got freed by Puri Puri Prisoner, which he then fought. Then Super Alloy Darkshine comes to save Puri Puri Prisoner and continues to fight against Garou. Until Super Alloy Darkshine started to fight against Garou, he was unconscious, or how he called it, in his sleep. And there comes the last dangerous heroic trait of Garou. He is not just naturally gifted, he is an absolute prodigy, and only Saitama in God showed more potential than Garou. Garou is not only able to copy other techniques, he's also able to integrate them in his own fighting style and even develop them further. That's what he does with the technique of Bomb, Whirlwind Iron Cutting Fist. His copy ability got much better after he gained the power of God. He only needs to see Blast's teleportation ability once to copy it. From there on, Garou continues to grow stronger and stronger, beating Puri Puri Prisoner, Super Alloy Darkshine, Bomb, Bang, Flashy Flash, Platinum S and Sage Centipede all in succession. Watching all of Garou's journey, it feels like that he is a Super Saiyajin hero, somehow always finding new power to keep going, no matter how strong his opponents are. Always finds a way to win. But although it seems like he's on the path of the hero, he still remains the anti-villain. And there comes the great flaw of Garou's worldview and why he ultimately fails. Garou overgeneralizes. Just because in childhood his bullies wanted to be the heroes and wanted him to be the monster, he started to hate all heroes naturally. It was wrong to think that every hero automatically wants to oppress people like he was in childhood or Tadeo. Saitama, Genos, Moomin Rider, Metalbat, all of them are great respectable heroes, being selfless, protecting the weak and fighting against all kinds of evil. Garou definitely respects Metalbat, but he still fights against every hero just because they are heroes, nonetheless of their intents or worldviews. Just going around and fighting heroes is meaningless and totally wrong. That's a lesson Garou still needs to learn, because up to now he came really near achieving his goal. But there's still by far the strongest hero to teach him the lesson he desperately needs to learn, and that's Saitama. Saitama instantly sees through the facade of Garou, even referring to his monster-like appearance as costumes. In his fight against Saitama, Garou gets a hard reality check. No matter how often he continues to evolve, there's no way he will become stronger than Saitama and achieving his goal of absolute evil. Now, God enters the battlefield. Seeing how strong Garou has accomplished to become all by himself, God tries to manipulate Garou to accept his power. But Garou understands the manipulation and still gets a huge amount of power. He thought that he successfully tricked God, but God's power is too strong for Garou. With the cosmic abilities, Garou has lost his identity of an anti-villain and now became a full-on monster. He even apologizes and says goodbye to Tadeo, which metaphorically stands for abandoning his human side. Now he has no problems killing heroes and citizens. His radiation will automatically kill every person near him. One of his first moves after being transformed by the power of God is to kill Genos, because he knew that Saitama wasn't serious. But in order to create absolute evil, he needs to win against 100% Saitama. We all know how that fight goes. Saitama completely obliterates Garou with just one hand. Genos and Tadeo represented the human side of the supernatural beings Garou and Saitama had become. It is beautifully displayed how Saitama held the core of Genos close to him through the whole fight, while Garou accidentally killed Tadeo. Cosmic Fear Garou until his defeat wasn't aware of what he has become, but after he lost, he saw the corpse of Tadeo. There he saw what he has actually became. Garou realized that he has lost his way. He wasn't able to handle the power of God, which resonated with the loss of his true identity. The humiliating defeat was necessary for Garou to accept that he was wrong the whole time, and his actual goal was to become an honest, respectable hero.
俺は埼玉ヒーローだよ
The loss of his values and views were very hard for Garou to handle. His first impulse was that he wanted to die, because he lost his dream. That's what makes the last defeat of Garou different from all the defeats before. The courage he got from his higher goal is what gave Garou the power to keep going, learning from every loss he had, but now that is completely missing. Therefore he wanted to die. Fortunately for Garou, he has gained Tadeo, a little brother to back him up, the respect from Metalbat, Saitama and an old wise teacher which still believes in him. With their combined efforts, it is possible for Garou to start again from the beginning, but now without flaws and on the right path. Thank you for watching the video. Garou is one of my favorite antagonists of all time, and I hope this video helped you to understand him better. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like or write a comment, and I will release more analysis videos in the future, so hopefully see you soon.